If you're doing well in San Francisco but can't figure out why life feels a little bit harder every year, this video is for you. I know how that sounds. Poor me. I'm successful, but yes, I'm stressed also. But here's what most people will not admit out loud. On paper, everything works. Career's strong, income's there, and family is moving forward. And yet every year it just feels a little bit heavier. It's not one big problem. It's 100 little things that all pile up. Feel like you spend more time managing the logistics than your life. Money keeps disappearing, and that's without any measurable increase in the quality of your life. There's more rules, more traffic, and just more friction. So if that sounds familiar, stick with me because that's where my life was too. I'm licensed in California also. I was producing and business was really good. But running a business and trying to raise a family in California felt like I was swimming uphill with a weighted vest and people throwing rocks across that pond at me. Vehicle registration kept climbing year after year, and they always managed to add those 3 mysterious miscellaneous fees that no one's ever heard of. And then there was insurance that kept going up also year after year, and then it became a conversation of whether I could even get a policy bound or not. Utilities were on the list also, and they kept creeping up year after year. And then of course there's those taxes. They constantly stay aggressive, and they're always managing to try to workshop another tax to add to the list. And of course then there's regulation on top of regulation, and hey, we had that one more form. And then over the last several years, they started talking about trying to exercise an exit tax. If it's implemented, it's not taxing your income. It's actually talking about your real estate, your retirement accounts, all your assets, and your investments. So let's get this straight. You're gonna tax me while I'm there, tax me during the duration I'm there, and then try to come after me with another tax just for leaving. So I got to the point that the effort stopped matching the benefit of living in California. I realized I wasn't building momentum anymore. I was simply trying to manage the constant resistance. So in 2015, I made that jump and I moved to Reno, and I'm gonna say it plainly. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. When I talk to families who are leaving and moving out of San Francisco, they don't leave angry. They just simply leave tired. They get tired of trying to plan their entire life around the traffic and all the driving congestion. They're tired of asking for permits, inspections, and committee approvals just to replace a fence. So the families I talk to, they're not chasing cheaper. They're looking for simplicity and functionality. They simply want to feel like their city's not working against them at every turn. And that's why Reno starts showing up on their radar. We don't typically hear that this is their dream destination. We hear that this is the next step to what finally makes sense. So let's talk some numbers. In San Francisco, you can get typically an older property that's going to cost you at the basis of about $1.4 to $1.8 million. These are going to be smaller homes that typically still need a lot of work. They're going to have limited storage. They have street parking if we're lucky, and a yard that's the size of a postage stamp. In contrast to that, in Reno, $600,000 to $900,000 will get you some space. Newer construction's common. 2 to 3 car garages are typical, real yards where your kids can play without any concerns. You will end up with mountain views and community that really matters. Nobody that we talk to feels like this was a downgrade. They finally feel like they're not being ripped off by their own city. Okay, quick pause. If you're seriously thinking about making a move and you're not just kicking the tires or daydreaming, let's talk. And now I want to talk schools because that always comes up. Washoe County School District serves about 60,000 students every day. We're not going to pretend that every school is perfect either. But what we hear is that families aren't chasing rankings. They're chasing stability, safety, teachers who will stay, and a community that shows up. Reno offers some strong neighborhood schools, charters, magnet programs, STEM options, the Montessori and classic education paths. We do have some of the state's top-ranked schools all right here locally for your choosing. But what we see that parents noticed immediately is kids play outside again, they walk to parks, they're riding their bikes, and they're actually just being kids. That alone changes everything. But here's something wild. Reno has entire neighborhoods that were built after 2000. This means there's actual sidewalks, parks that you can walk to, cul-de-sacs where kids can play, trails that connect things, homes designed for modern families, and those HOAs, well, they're lower, they're predictable, and they're focused on maintenance and not micromanaging your life. Your neighborhood will support your life instead of constantly fighting it. And the question that these families ask quietly, well, it's all about the safety. Crime stats aren't perfect. They do shift year after year also. But when you zoom out and look at a multi-year approach through the FBI's eyes, the picture becomes very clear over the last 5 years. And that is, San Francisco has 6 times the violent crimes that Reno does per capita. That's not a little more, it's literally 6 times the crime level. And another benefit is that Reno's crime is actually very localized. Typically, you're going to see that it's around the downtown and the nightlife that skew these numbers. Family neighborhoods like South Reno, Northwest Reno, and parts of Sparks stay well below the national averages on the safety. So when families finally move here, they find that kids play outside without a second thought. They walk the dog that doesn't feel like a risk assessment, and daily life just feels calmer. And for that peace of mind, well, that's hard to put a price on. But time is where you get a real upgrade. The average commute here is only about 15 to 25 minutes, with that being slightly longer during rush hour traffic. And we don't have bridge roulette, no tolls, and no 2-hour school drop-offs that feel like the gymnastics. What you are going to get back is real mornings, dinners together, and weekends that aren't just for recovery. A lot of people tell me they didn't realize just how compressed life really was until it wasn't anymore. And a question that we do typically get is Reno a remote work city? Well, it's not experimental, nor is it new. High-speed internet is readily available across the metro, with fiber being introduced and installed at a lot of the new construction. So your video calls are going to be reliable, large files are not an issue to upload, and working from home just feels normal here. And you won't be the only one who's doing it. I personally also work from my home office right here, with my espresso bar only 50 feet over. So we know a lot of Bay Area families who are working here very quietly, logging into work just like they always have, and nobody even knows they've jumped the border. So remote work didn't start this migration. It simply removed the last roadblock to make it happen. Now let's talk about a couple of expenditures that we all have surrounding real estate. In San Francisco, the effective tax rate on your property is going to be between 1.18 and 1.24%. So on $1.5 million home, that's roughly $17,000 to just over $18,000 a year that you're giving the state of California simply to live in your house. Well, Nevada works differently because we actually have constitutional property tax caps, which means you get gradual increases, no Melloroos anywhere in the state, no special assessment roulette, they're predictable, and our effective property tax rates are typically between 0.055 and 0.065%. And another one of those costs is insurance here is far more readily available. And that's something that a lot of families don't appreciate until they actually experience it. We have more carriers who are willing to write policies. We have fewer forced policies or last resort policies. We don't see our premiums jump overnight without any explanation. And this alone removes a huge amount of stress on property owners that are all relocating here from California who typically have to deal with this. And the same thing shows up on your vehicles. Registration here is a lot more simpler and noticeably cheaper, with car insurance rates being a lot lower, with fewer add-on fees that felt like they were invented halfway through the process. So for families that have 2 or 3 cars, those savings really stack up quickly. So it's not one dramatic bill, it's dozens of little bills that just simply stop showing up. The next thing that we hear back that people really appreciate once they've experienced it is the ability to travel without the recovery times. At the Reno Tahoe International Airport, they serve almost 5 million people a year. But the real advantage isn't the number of people that they serve or the destinations, it's actually the experience of what it's like to fly out of Reno. That's because of short drives to the airport, predictable parking, and TSA lines that move quickly even during peak times. So you won't have to block off half the day just to catch a flight anymore. Most people go from their car to the gate in minutes and not hours. Personally, I have a pre-SA pre-check, and a lot of times I can get from the curb to my gate in roughly about 15 minutes. So it might be a small thing on paper, but in real life, this is gonna really add up. But I would be amiss if I didn't bring up altitude and the occasional smoke season. Reno does sit at about 4,500 feet above sea level, so coming from San Francisco that first week or two, you will notice a difference. Most people do adjust quickly, but it is worth noting ahead of time. Some folks notice mild altitude effects for that first week or so, like shortness of breath, dry air, and needing more water and lotion until they adjust. That usually will pass pretty quickly once your body adjusts. And wildfire smoke is a question that typically comes up. And yes, some summers do have some smoky days. It's seasonal and not constant. So for the years that we do get some smoke coming in from all those California fires, we just monitor the air quality and we plan around it. Most of the newer homes up here have HVAC with filtration. And families, well, we've just learned which days to hike and which ones to stay in. It's not perfect, but it is predictable. And being honest about that up front matters more than pretending like that doesn't exist. One of my favorite parts about living here is the outdoor lifestyle that actually happens. With Tahoe just a little over 30 minutes away, this isn't brochure living or that post that you put up about that vacation and then forgot about. This is the Tuesday after work kind of living. Families ski in the morning and they're home by lunch. Kids actually hike after school. Weekends don't actually require packing or planning like it's an expedition. Bikes here actually live in the garage and not on some rack just collecting dust. Paddleboards here get used and not just stored. And trails here, well, that's something you hit just because you have an hour and it doesn't require taking out an entire day. The outdoors here stop being a destination and they become part of your everyday routine. And that shift, well, that changes how families actually spend time together. And there is a hidden benefit that not very many people ever talk about. And it's simply this: Reno reduces your mental load. Not in some abstract feel-good way, in a very real day-to-day way. There's fewer systems to fight, fewer rules stacked on top of other rules, and fewer hoops to just jump through for everyday living. Things here take one step instead of 5. Decisions, well, they take minutes instead of weeks. And planning your future here, well, it doesn't feel like a moving target. Yes, you're still gonna work hard, and yes, you're still gonna have responsibilities, but your environment's gonna stop draining you for the simple baseline functions. And that extra margin's gonna show up in every aspect of life. You'll have more patience at home, you'll have more patience at work, and you're gonna have more energy for all the things that actually matter. That's an upgrade most families don't expect, but they do notice it pretty quickly. So we've heard clients come back and tell us, like myself, We didn't leave California because of a failure. We simply left because success shouldn't feel this exhausting. And that's why Reno is quietly winning families from San Francisco. So if you're honestly considering a move, then my team and I are here to help you to see if Reno is the right fit for your family. No hype, no pressure, just real answers. I'm Chris Raynor, your go-to realtor for all things Reno. So until next time, we'll catch you on the next one.